Namaskar. Welcome to another episode of Editorial. The Supreme Court is examining the 1992 Indira Shawne judgment of capping reservations up to 50% per state. So the Supreme Court is re-examining it. How important it is to ensure that the reservation is capped to 50%. Let's discuss that in detail. That's my point number one. That's my topic number one. My topic number two is about Mamata Banerjee and her temple run. Let's get right into the show. So in 1992, Supreme Court given a verdict of capping reservation up to 50%. No state can give reservation beyond 50%. Now what is unfortunate is a lot of states have breached this judgment. A lot of states have breached this judgment and are giving reservation beyond 50%. Now you see, reservation was primarily bought in India, was actually implemented in India to clean up the historic injustices that we have done in our past. It was an opportunity to give people who have been suppressed an opportunity to come up and grow like the rest of the nation. It meant equal opportunity for all. Now, equal opportunity for all is never like this. It never works. Equal opportunity for all is represented by this picture. Because end of the day, it is not like, a blanket reservation and therefore everybody stands on top of it and then, are equal. It is giving benefits, giving reservations, giving subsidies to people who deserve it the most, who wants it the most, so that they are given equal playing ground. Now I'll tell you what is happening. What is happening is a reservation today has been used as a political tool for political parties to garner votes. That is how reservation is used. So if that's the way it's going to be used, then the problem is that somewhere down the line, you will use reservation not for benefit of the people per se. It may not benefit the people. On the other hand, it will harm the population. What is going to happen with excessive reservation is that you are directly killing talent. You are actually shrinking your talent of the state, because end of the day, talent won't be the priority. It will be the reservation that will be the priority. Whatever it is, whether it is SC, ST, OBC, EBC, whatever reservation it is. And finally, in a country like ours, we are a developing country. In a country like ours, tell me which community is absolutely, which community can say that we've got equal opportunities? Every community has got the rich and the poor. Every community has got the haves and the have-nots. So technically speaking, how can a community per se in totality be on the have-nots or be having lesser opportunity? So that's the question one needs to ask ourselves. We are now in 2021. We are competing with few of the best countries in the world. We are competing medically, we are competing technologically, we are competing from an IT perspective, we are competing on all fronts. We are competing economically, we are competing on all fronts. And under these circumstances, if we follow reservation as one of our policies of induction, imagine where will it land our country to. So I sincerely hope that the Supreme Court takes a call on this. I sincerely hope that states follow the 50% cap. I am not saying therefore give reservation to one and don't give reservation. That's not the point I am trying to make. What the point I am trying to make is identify people who genuinely requires reservation and give it to them. Of course, identify people who have gone through social injustice. Identify those people. Give them that equal playing ground. Identify people who requires our help, who requires reservation to have equal opportunities. Identify them. Give them that reservation. Of course, yes. You saw when migrant workers went off, what happened to the cities, to the urban cities of this country. And these migrant workers come from various states. Now imagine if there is a quota system, if there is a reservation that only locals will get jobs there. What will happen to that particular city? The city will stall. So reservation definitely is not the solution to all our problems. Reservation is for people to get equal opportunities, not to get undue advantages. That's something that we and our politicians need to remember. Yesterday, I spoke about Rahul Gandhi carving a niche for himself, creating a differentiator for brand Rahul Gandhi. What I said is, after a long time, I am seeing Rahul Gandhi behave like Rahul Gandhi and not trying to be a better Narendra Modi. And I thought that that was a good thing. Whether that will get him votes or not, I don't know. I said that yesterday. I repeat that today. But at least it's a very niche image. It's a very differentiated image that he's creating. Today, I want to talk to you about Mamata Banerjee. Mamata Banerjee always stood for secularism. Mamata Banerjee, therefore, was also accused of appeasing Muslims. So the answer to which she is now trying to do is basically now going to different temples. So she was in her constituency Nandigram, and she did Chandi Path there. She said, I am a Hindu Brahmin girl, I don't teach me Hindutva and all of that. The point is, Mamata Banerjee came up to this stage being a Mamata Banerjee. If Mamata Banerjee thinks that in the next 15 days, she can change her image, and all of a sudden, by going to temple, if that's going to change her image or if that's going to get her votes, I don't think that's actually going to happen. And I'm sure people like Prashant Kishore would be advising her that. In fact, what she is going to do is she is doing the same thing that one spoke to about Rahul Gandhi, is she is trying to be a better BJP now, which she can't be. And which she shouldn't try. So I think, my point of view on this is, I think she has got so many votes. Opinion polls say that she would probably win the election. Maybe she will get lesser seats, but she'll still win the election. That is what opinion polls says. And she should stick to that. She should stick to what her ideology was. She should stick to what her ideology is. And she should show that this is what her ideology is going to be for the rest of her life. That will make her a bigger and a better leader. Till I see you next time. Namaskar.
Hello everyone. HW News English is 2 years old now. When we started this venture, we promised ourselves one thing, that news should remain free. Because right to know is the right of every Indian. But to keep news free for everyone, we need support from some of you. And thus we have rolled out membership on our YouTube channel HW News English. But mind you, the membership is completely voluntary. The programs that we were doing earlier, that we are doing now, will continue to remain free. First level is a basic level. Here, you can be our supporter by paying Rs 199 per month. This membership gives you certain perks and benefits. The perks include unique badges in front of your name, a live show from Mr. Sujit Nair and from Mr. Akhilesh Bhargava per month for our members. You can also vote in some exclusive members-only polls. Now the second level is Super Supporter. Here you can be our Super Supporter by paying Rs 3,999 per month. This membership will include every perk that comes with basic level. Additionally, Our super supporters can be a part of a WhatsApp group where we can have discussions and suggestions on various topics. The second perk includes a gift pack with our merchandise. And the third perk is a Google Meet with Mr. Sujit Nair, where you can join the meet and ask your questions to Mr. Nair face to face. Lastly, if you like, we would give a shout out to our super supporters in our programs. So, hope to see you soon with our badges.
The emerging backbone of India's economy are our startups. They represent India's youth. They represent India's aspirations. They represent India's hopes. They represent our fight against an insensitive bureaucracy, against an insensitive system. They represent the fight of our startup entrepreneurs against an indifferent system, against an insensitive banker, against challenges of dealing with the government, and against all the odds with which they started a startup. Every startup begins with a brilliant idea, a unique idea, an idea which nobody else thought of, and that becomes a business enterprise. We are starting our next episode series on what we call startup stories. It is a curiosity to know what was that idea, what was the motivation, what was the determination because of which one talented entrepreneur, without any background of business perhaps, decided to venture out on his own and create a successful enterprise. These are the ideas that motivate us also. If you have a startup story which is interesting, we would want to talk to you also. Come back to us with your own startup stories, and you might also be the person we would like to talk to.